is on.
Welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangout. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Charles Carter, and I'd like to encourage you to go to the stunthangar.com/SMF and look for the At the Bench link, which is under In Memory of Our Friends. And there you'll find the link to join this program. And if you're not a member of Stunthangar, you can watch this on YouTube, the Stunthangar YouTube channel, and we have a chat box there, and you could ask questions there or make comments or just simply watch. Want to encourage you to keep the atmosphere family room friendly. Don't say anything you wouldn't say in front of your children or grandchildren. And also would love to have your support. You can support this channel through the super chat, which is underneath the chat box on the YouTube channel, or through our memberships. There's 3 tiers of memberships starting at $4.99 a month, and that helps Sparky with Sparky, by the way, is the owner, proprietor of Stunthangar. That helps him with the acquisition of equipment for the live broadcast at stunt events, or even his uh, and it also helps with the support of the programming. He does a lot of building videos. Hey, Phil.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
Had to go in it from a different angle, but we finally got there.
Hey, that's great. Well, this is great. You're the first one in. So that's fantastic because I know you had a challenge getting in last time.
Man, it's been crazy the last 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. I had a heck of a time. My wife had to straighten it out for me. I had to go in through Chrome on this thing, and it's. I've got my computer sitting here ready to try. I got my telephone in my pocket. I was going to get in some kind of way tonight.
Hey, I appreciate that. That is awesome. I hope we can grow this channel, and we have more people than we can handle, and we can go to even additional nights.
Well, that'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, Sparky's vision is to maybe even have this every night. We could have people host it besides myself. So I'd like to get this thing built to the point where we actually it's more than I can handle. Right now, I can handle it, but let me pull up the chat box. Pardon me just a second. I was doing the introduction, and just bear with me for a second.
Okay. I forgot to turn on my earphones for this thing, so I'm gonna be. My wife's gonna be having a fit here in a minute.
What's your wife's name?
Vicky. She's my computer guru.
Hi, Vicky. I'm Charles Carter.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Crazy. She comes, lays her healing hand on it, and it works. But anyway, one of them things.
Thank you, Vicky, for helping fill out.
You're welcome.
She is crazy. Now she's the same with a bunch. That's the scary part. I don't think they're turned on, but I'll try it.
Let me go and continue with our introduction.
There you go.
Anyways, so last week we talked about Tryon did a good report on the King Orange contest, and he gave us a report of who won and how it went. And then Mike Lonke, he came in later on in the program, and he had pictures, and he showed pictures of the planes there. Some beautiful planes, by the way, was there.
Yeah, I saw some of them.
Yeah, so that was a great event. So, but tonight, hopefully we'll have a very good show. I look forward to Friday nights, and I can't wait to see what we unwrap tonight. Hopefully we have a great show. So that's it. If you want to come on in, and if you're not registered, you can register with your first, no fake stuff here, your first real and last name, and needs to be a space between your first and your last name, and a valid email address, and Sparky might approve you. If you have any resistance, you can leave some comments in the in Stunthangar YouTube channel, and we will see if we can work it out. We just want to try to keep any trolls out. And so the only way you can come in here is to be a registered member of Stunt Hangar. But if you're not a member, you can still enjoy and watch the program and make comments in the chat box there and ask questions. And I do my darndest to include you in the dialogue. Sometimes we get moving and I can't even get a word in, and it's possible that we could go on to a new subject before I get a chance to post your comments. But I do really appreciate those in the audience. And last week we had 20 concurrent viewers, so it was a pretty good show for Monday. And Friday is usually a little bit better night, so I expect us to do even better than that. So, what's been happening with you, Phil?
Well, just I'm building a vector ARF.
All right.
Not that I don't have plenty of other stuff going on, but I'm fooling with a vector ARF, and I had it all lined up. Everything was laying perfect, and it was in the jig. And I got ready to glue it, and the phone rang, and I must have jerked something because it's 1/8 of an inch out, and I've got to go get some debonder in the morning and unglue it so I can get it straight. I can't stand to try to fly one that way.
Oh yeah, it has to be straight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, sometimes the magic works and sometimes nothing works. But what I'm gonna do in the morning is go to the hobby shop and get some debonder, and then I'll take the canopy off, which it's on mine crooked anyway, so I'll pull it off and then debond it from both sides, and hopefully I can pop the thing off of there. I had it just perfect. I don't know how in the world I mucked it up, but hey.
Oh, so you're talking about the canopy, not the wing into the fuselage?
No, the wing into the fuselage. It was
crooked.
I had it all in there right, and somehow I've got it 1/8 of an inch off, and I just no.
Yeah, absolutely. Might as well fix it because you'll be fussing with it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's something I'll always see, whether anybody else does or not. So I just said, "Oh, the heck with it. I'm gonna fix it. I'll just take the time." I wanted to try to get it ready to fly tomorrow, but I can't anyway. It's I can't. I could probably have gotten it done today had I not had this mistake, but I'll just wait a week. It'll be all right. I'll fly it next week.
Is this your first vector ARF?
Yeah, my first ARF in quite a while. I've done 2 top flight Noblers, but this is my first Brodak ARF, and it went together a lot better than I expected. Even the horns, I thought they were fouled up, and I looked at them and they were right. They bent. The horn was bent a little bit forward, and I thought, well, that's not going to work. But the push rod comes from so high up over here that it comes down. It's 90 degrees where it meets that, so it was right. So I was going to change the horns out and put new horns and everything in it, and I got to measure it, and all the bends were right. Everything was right. All I had to do was go get some springs and put on the horns for bearings. Sometimes when you buy the good ones, they have brass tubes on them. But if they don't have that, all you got to do is go to the hardware store and get some springs and put on there, and then bend you some brass around it, and you can make it work.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You just have to, spend a little time. But that's the trick to it all, is just putting that on there. Putting in a little time and a little trouble and make it work.
Yeah, my vector ARF, I left it completely stock. I used everything that came in the box, and the plane flew nice. I had an LA-46 in mine, and it worked really good. The only problem I did have was I was shorted something.
Landing gear bolts?
No, I was trying to connect the push rod between the flap and the elevator horn, and there was something there. I don't remember. I built this plane years ago, and mine was the blue one. I don't know what color your ARF is, but mine was
red.
Yours is red.
If it ain't red, it ain't right.
Well, my Strega is red.
Yeah.
So I had Brodak Vector and a Brodak Strega ARF, and they're very good. I even have a Brodak Pathfinder ARC, which I was planning on actually taking the wing and building a fuselage. I have the plans from John Miller for the built-up fuselage using the components from the Brodak ARF
Yeah.
or ARC, and
Yeah.
I'm going to do that someday. But yeah, the Brodak products are the ARFs are I think they're better than the Top Flight.
I think they are too. I know they are. Yeah, because Top Flight's so full of plywood, they're so heavy. But the Brodak, the only problem with the Brodak, the early Brodak Stragas, I don't know about the later ones, but they're put together with hot glue, and it works in the wing. It works fine in the back of the fuselage. It works fine. Just saw the nose off that thing at the high point of the wing, and build your new nose and put on it, built out of epoxy, and you got a good airplane. But the only problem I've seen out of anybody with a Strega kit, a Strega ARF, is the nose coming off, and it's because the thing it gets hot and it softens up that hot glue, and it eventually comes apart. But if you fix that one problem, they're great kits. They're great. That wing is nice. In fact,
I actually go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I actually went through my Strega ARF with some thin CA around the engine bearers, all the way around it, and
that probably worked.
Some Z-epoxy, and just painted the whole tank compartment and engine bearers, all that with that, and I haven't had any problems. I mean, my red Strega has over 520 flights on it.
Well, you won't have any problem then. The problems occurred in the first 20 flights. I saw Kent Tyser had just won the Nats with a Strega in advanced, and he bought one of the early Strega ARFs and was out Hobby Park flying it with I think it was a 65 in the front of it, not on a pipe, just on a muffler. And all of a sudden that $400 motor went down through the woods, and the tail of the plane passed the nose of the plane, and it landed upside down. He was a little disappointed, but I'm telling you that's the problem with that airplane. That's the only problem it's got. If you'll fiberglass the nose or build a new, everybody says just build a new nose. Okay, I give in. Build a new nose. If that's what everybody wants to do, build a new nose. But otherwise, fiberglass the nose, and they do great. And do what you did. I mean, that goes without saying. You always paint the inside of it to fuel proof it and strengthen it up a little bit. But man, some of these people, some of them just think you're going to take it out of the box and fly it. And this is not RC, and it's not instant gratification. You're going to have to work a little bit.
Yes, I matter of fact, I heard about the nose coming off, so I made some biscuits. So when I joined the fuselage to the wing, I used some biscuits. You know, the wing saddle, that part.
Yeah.
So on the front of it, on left and right side, and on the rear of it, left and right side, I put some biscuits to make sure that front was not going to come loose.
Yeah. Well, that'll work. That's a good way to do it too.
I spent a lot of time. My Top Flight score probably had 300 flights on it.
I've never even seen one of those fly.
It's a nice looking plane in the air when it's flying, because I love the really big. It has big wheel pants.
Mm-hmm.
And it flies. It's just a really heavy plane, but it's a shorter wingspan. I mean, it's probably just as heavy as my red Strega, but the wingspan on the Strega is bigger. So it's it's the same weight approximately. It really suffers on the score because it's a heavy, dense plane with a shorter wing. But I did well with the score. I eventually wore it out. I actually wore it out to the point where I fractured the flap horn off of the joining wire.
Mm-hmm.
I was flying one day, and all of a sudden I gave it up, and I was like, whoa, why isn't it turning?
Yeah.
And I thought I mistakenly put 015 lines on it because it was just so stretchy. And when I landed it, I saw that the flap wasn't moving; it was just the elevator moving. And I peeked in, and I saw that the the upright part of the flap horn was floating in the air, but all the push rods were all connected to it. That's
Man.
why I still had the elevator. But yeah, so I just I wore that plane out. I don't know how many flights for sure. I didn't start documenting flights till after that plane. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he had a impact, and he had told me he had like 1,100 flights on it. And I was like, well, how do you know you have 1,100 flights? I just thought he was just. He goes, no, I have a flight log. But he actually is a real pilot, and
Yeah.
pilots have a habit of keeping a flight log just for being a pilot, and it just carried over into flying model airplanes. So I started. So I have each of my planes have a Ziploc bag, a big one, with the handle, the reel, flight log, with a pencil loop in it or pin loop in it,
Mm-hmm.
so I can keep track of the flights, and I keep track of any adjustments I make, what the RPM was, what the lines was, what the prop was, so that if I ever need to go back, I can put it back to where it was last time I flew.
That's the way you do it, Charles. And the other thing, make sure you keep up with how much fuel it uses,
Yes,
the
yeah.
RPM, just the little stuff like that. And
Oh, yeah.
anytime you make a change, you go to a new propeller, log it, because I'm bad about changing it at home, and I haven't flown this new prop. But I'll put the old prop in the bag or in my box and label which one it is, number it, and put the number in the book. And then if I go to a contest, I hadn't flown the plane in a while, because I've got a Tiger 60 on a Vega. Well, it's a SV11. We call it the Vega. But that thing runs on 3 7/8 ounces of fuel, a pattern on 3
Right.
7/8
That's
ounces
nice.
of fuel.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that is nice, but it blows your mind when you haven't flown it a while and you think, wait a minute, I'm putting 4 1/4 ounces in this Fox 35. How much goes in that Tiger 60?
Yeah, that would cause me to have an overrun, no doubt about it.
Oh, I guarantee you, I have to really watch myself. It doesn't help any. It's got a 6 ounce tank in it. So anyway, it's a very good, very miserly Tiger 60. Puts out great power, starts great, runs great. It's one of those concave head ones, and They run great. Everybody said, "Oh, don't get that, don't get that." I said, "Well, when I bought mine, my wife got me my first one. I had just read an article from Tom
All right,
Lay.
Vicky, that's a great wife. Buying a
Yeah,
Super Tiger.
she's a good 45 years she's put up with me. She's good.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I just read an article from Tom Lay, and he said that he was looking for some of those Candid Head 60s because they had some properties that he wanted to explore. Well, I called him and said, "What are you trying to explore?" He said, "They get better mileage. I want a couple of them." I said, "Well, I've got one, but I don't want to sell it." So I've got one Tom Lay and one Randy Smith, and they both run great. I mean, they both run great. I will have to say, I think the Lay has a little more grunt, but the Randy has just as good a manners. It just 2-4 brakes and comes back and forth just as well. And I think I can replace it because Randy's still there. But
yeah.
I don't know. I've been all week to call him, see about ordering some propellers. I hadn't done it yet. So anyway, one of them things. What you been up to this week?
Well, I did go flying today. I was teaching this guy I'm teaching how to fly. We had crashed the trainer plane last week. Oh no, 2 weeks ago. So we finally got back together and got the trainer back up and running. And I flew it. It got too windy for me to teach him anything. And then we had about 5 people show up. I had Keith Miller. These are probably guys you don't know. Keith Miller, Sean Day, Stuart Mossman, myself, and the guy I'm teaching, Joe Mata. So we had a pretty good event today. It was beautiful weather out here. I don't know what it was like where you live, but it was around
windy, very windy.
75 degrees out here, and the wind didn't come up till afternoon. It was really nice.
It was 56 today. Windy as heck. We've had that storm. We had a tornado go through yesterday, and it has been a mess today.
Oh man!
There's trees down everywhere. I tried to get to our other house and couldn't get to it for the trees down.
Wow.
And, there's power outages everywhere around here. It's a mess. I counted 13 power trucks heading up this way from Charlotte, down Charlotte direction. this evening, and I said, well, maybe we'll get some help tomorrow then. These guys look like they're loaded for bear. They brought poles, they brought everything with them, so they're ready to go. One thing about it, when the power goes out, the power community really comes running.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they take care of things out here.
Well,
man, there's some trees down everywhere.
I have
tree guys are making them. The tree people are going to make a mint this week.
Yes, they probably love the weather. They love
God,
the
I'm telling you.
And it's right before Christmas, so they like, and Thanksgiving.
Oh,
they're like, yes. They're like, yeah, God provides. Thank you, Father God.
Yeah. Well, I'm headed out in the morning. Lord willing, we're going to have a decent day. It's supposed to be, and I'm going to charge up my batteries tonight and meet the guys at 8 o'clock. Lord, it's going to be cold at 8 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, meet them at 8 o'clock in the morning at Hobby Park and see about putting in about 6.
So what plane you going to be flying tomorrow?
Nobler. It's top flight Nobler, the ARF.
Yeah.
Electric.
I haven't had any electric planes, but I've had 3 Nobler ARFs. I have one here that was given to me right behind me.
Yeah.
So it's missing the cowl, but I have a cowl in the back. There's more stuff on the Nobler than I want to deal with.
Well, that Nobler for the cowling, just make you one. Make you a wooden one.
I think I have one that's complete. I believe it's complete. I haven't looked at it. I've had this plane for a while. Yeah. But you know, it's a really good flying plane, as you know.
They're great flying planes, but they're just heavy.
Yeah, they fly really nice.
But I'm bad about when I take one of those. I take go get the monocoat that color and take the wing tips off and put line guide in this one and put a weight box in this one. And
yeah,
Charles, by the time you do all that, you can build a green box Nobler and have a lot lighter airplane.
You're talking to the choir. I mean, I actually I don't know what year it is, but in Stunt News, there was a short article about my Nobler ARF, and basically there wasn't much ARF left in it because I put a 4-inch bell crank in it.
Yeah, so I did too.
I had to go through the center section to do all that, and I cut off the wing tips like you said, and I put some blocks on it and hollowed them out, put a weight box and adjustable lead outs. I put the tail wheel where it's supposed to be like the green box Nobler.
Mm-hmm. I didn't do that. I should have, but I didn't.
And I gusseted the engine bearers.
I did that.
I can't. Oh, you know what? Hang on one second. Hey, you guys. I see you guys on the chat box. Tom Rommel says, I don't see the link in at the bench. Did you get in at the bench or?
No, I came in through 8x8 this time.
You know what? Let me. Well, I was wondering why it was just you and my. All right. Hey, Tom, sorry about that. I just posted the link. My mistake. I forgot to post the link.
CRS is real, brother.
Yes, CRS is real. Oh, my goodness. So that's my fault, man. But anyways, at least you and I had some one-on-one time.
There you go. I'm going to have to get out to Cali and go flying with you sometime or meet you to Nat, something.
You know what? I would love to meet you. That would be awesome. You know, I went to the Nats in 2019, and I went to Brodax in 2016. Got a chance to meet people on the left coast or wrong coast.
Oh, you're the left coast. We're the right coast. You look at it from Texas, man. I mean, center of the country.
Right. So I met some people that I wouldn't ordinarily get a chance to meet. I had a blast at both places. But I met a lot of people at Brodax.
Yeah, Brodax was always a hoot. I'd always get there thinking I was going to just chill out and not do a whole lot, just goof off a little bit. And I'd always end up in one of the camps trying to help somebody do something and get something started. I had a good time every time I went. I didn't go 6 times, but I had a great time every time.
I wish I have gone more than once. Tom, we're talking about Brodax. Okay. And I bet you've heard of Brodax, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Charles. How about posting the link on Stunt
You know what?
Hey, wait a minute.
What happened was
Wasn't it Peter that was razzing me last week about come in through Chrome?
No,
I made it. Where you been, Pete?
Hey, I use Chrome all the time.
I've never used Chrome before in my life, but I couldn't get in the last 2 times, and I said, "Darn, I got to do something different." So here we go.
So where'd you get the link for Chrome?
Off went.
No, don't say anymore.
To be honest,
Don't say anymore.
to be honest,
don't say anymore.
my wife got it for me.
Don't say anymore. Don't say anymore. We don't want any trolls coming in here.
I'm sitting here sending Charles, PMs on Stunt Hangar, and I was getting ready to call his number. And
Thank you, Peter. What happened, Peter, was, see, when Tom came in, I wasn't ready, and I assumed I must have posted the link because I was caught off guard. Matter of fact, I was right in the middle of my.
When Phil came in. Phil came in
and threw me off my game. So I knew
I'm good at that.
Yeah, that was great. So that's what happened. So I'm assuming that everybody else is going to come in and follow Phil. But thank God I checked the chat box. And matter of fact, I see Tom. You did it in all caps. Does that mean you're yelling? Yelling at me?
Yeah, I tried to yell at you, but you didn't hear me.
Yeah, so me and Tom are sitting on this alternate chat site that I opened up because I didn't know what the heck was going on, and he's telling me that you're just going on and on and on YouTube and not reading your chat boxes.
Yeah, I just turned to it and I said, "Hang on, Phil. Let me bring up the chat box." Then I see this in huge letters.
And you do realize you're never going to live this down now.
Hey, I deserve it. Hey, that's okay. I own it. Let me continue. When I was reading the chat, and that's when I saw that Tom posted that. So then Gary Sinclair says, "I can't get on. No link." Jeff Riley says, "Hi, Tom. I'll send him a text." Where's the text? I don't know if he sent me a text. And then Mark Lumen, I think you're new to me, Mark. He said yes. And then Jeff Riley said, "Hi, Tom and Gary. How are you guys doing?" And Jeff Riley says, "Hi, Mark." And then Jeff Riley says, "Hi, Bill." And hey, Bill. And I imagine Bill's coming in soon. And then Bill's asked, "How's the flight streak coming along?" And then Mark Lumen says, "Same here." Hey, Gary.
So here you are on Stunt Hangar advertising how great this Friday's chat's going to be because of the King Orange and all this sort of stuff.
Well, let me tell you, I was when I was with Phil and I was thinking, wow, what's going on? Because I was on the Stunt Hangar forum trying to pump this thing up. And so I'm expecting some new people to show up, hopefully, with all that. And by the way, Peter, I wanted to thank you for commenting on that. And I went and commented today to try to bring the name of the thread is called "Are You Aware of?" We have Stunt Hangar video hangouts every Monday and Friday, and I wanted to bring it back up toward the top, so I posted something. And thank you, Dave Shorts, and thank you, Dave. I think. I'm sorry, Dave. I forgot your last name.
His initials are CRS.
Yeah, Dave. CRS is for real. Hey, this is it's great. I make mistakes. I'm human. That's cool. Hey, Mark Lumen, we'd love to have you come on in. He's saying he still can't log on. He says, "I'm in Africa, but still should work." Yes, it still should work.
He's on there. We just can't see him.
Oh, there he is. Oh, great. Do you have a camera, Mark, or what?
As long as he's got audio.
Turn on your camera and your microphone.
Phil, you guys were talking about meeting each other, and you and Charles.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy I was really looking forward to meeting someday was Rusty. I never got to meet him.
Oh,
He was a character. You would have.
Me too.
Yeah.
I met Sparky about, I guess it was 2010, up in Paducah. Me and Mike and some of the other guys we fly with. I started flying with him in 2009. and I think it was 2010. We went up to Paducah.
Yeah,
And
that's one
Sparky
I
was
always
up there.
wanted to make.
Had no clue who he was, you know, but he had that Thunderbolt there, and that was the most beautiful plane I've ever seen in my life. Of course, you know, to me, I mean, it looked like the finish looked like it was plastic.
You ought to
You know,
sing Bill Werwich's. I'm not knocking
and
Sparky's in any way. Sparky's is gorgeous. Sparky's was gorgeous, and it truly was one of the prettiest planes I've ever seen. But you should have seen Bill Werwich's at the Worlds with Bill at his best. I mean,
oh, I'm sure, yeah,
he was kicking butt, taking names, and that airplane was just amazing.
I'm sure, but man, that you know, I've never been around competition planes.
No, I'll tell you
I've been around backyard flying planes. You built them to fly, not to show. You
Yeah.
know, and that's what we did. Our planes are built to fly, and that's
Well,
it.
that's what you
And
do
but
to
I'm
get people
wanting
fun.
these. I've got that chipmunk that Mike I bought from Mike, a super chipmunk that he built. It's probably right now. It's almost like a ARC.
Mm-hmm.
The wings built, the fuselage is 90% built, the rudder, the stab, and all that's built. But I never really got around to covering it because I didn't want to do it in Monaco.
Yeah.
I wanted to do. I, I'm going to stay away from silk span. I'm going to go with. I got poly span. I'm going to put on it because I fly in grass. I don't.
Yeah.
I've heard that the silk span does not like grass too well. It's not puncture proof as much as the poly span. But I wanted to cover it with that and paint it and do a good paint job on it, not a cover job. So I've got that super chipmunk, and I want to I'm gonna cover the JB special, which John, I saw you just come on, and I got the wing printed out
Hey,
and the
John.
other page printed out, and turned out perfect. But I did notice the page number 1 stayed the same.
Yeah.
It
The
stayed the
only
same on the 40-inch size limit. It didn't drop down to the 36. So, but it stayed. I mean, the numbers are all still the same on it. So I just left it the one I got. I measured the ribs, and they're identical to the page 4. So I'm gonna go with it. But
The only thing I can suggest is when you get ready to cover it and you start using polyspan, be sure and check, make sure, and candle, if you know what that means. Candle your covering before you put it on the plane. Make sure.
yeah, check for shadows.
Yeah, make sure that you do not put the fuzzy side up. The fuzzy side goes down. Fuzzy
Oh
side
yeah,
goes
yeah. I've watched enough Sparky videos. He's adamant about that because you'll
Okay.
spend a half a jug of dope trying to get that stuff down.
Well, I tell you what, Sparky is about as good a builder as I've ever seen. He's amazing builder. Now the best 2 builders I've ever seen, best 3 builders, I'll say 3, Bob Hunt, Bill Werwich, Al Raby.
Yeah.
Those three can teach you more in 30 minutes than anybody else I've ever worked with. Keith Trossel is another one who's an absolute master.
Yes, he is. I concur.
And I can't think of his name, but the guy that was on here the other week from Tucson, I've known his name.
Bart Kaplinski?
Yeah, Bart Kaplinski. I've known his name since I was 7 years old and first got in this. And I met him at Tucson a few years ago and got talking to him. He says, "God, you make me feel old." I said, "I got news. We are getting old."
Yeah.
So, but I have to include myself in that. But
Yeah.
You will meet some people in this hobby that are just as good of people as you'll ever meet anywhere in life.
And of course, when I first started, the only name in this sport, I guess you could call it, hobby, the only name I knew and never really knew him, but was Carl Goldberg. You know, that's
Well,
because I had his models. You know,
Carl was a good guy too. I got to meet him.
Goldberg. You know, I had his shoestring. Dad had his. He's got his Cosmic Wind, and we had a couple more. But I mean, that was the only name and you know that I'd heard of until I started talking to you guys and started researching some of these guys, watching videos and stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool. I'd like to meet. I know, of course, I know Mike. Hey, Mike.
Everybody knows Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
we don't
but
know.
yeah, I look forward to meeting all of you someday.
Another
that would
good
be
one.
awesome.
Another good one that you need to get to know and pay attention to what he says. Even though sometimes he gets his math going a little bit over my head, is Santa Claus there? Big John. Big John can tell you a lot quick. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he does some beautiful drafting. Good Lord, he does some pretty drafting.
He does.
My biggest problem is I don't have the artistic ability and imagination to do these, paint schemes like what Sparky's got, what y'all got on the backdrop here.
Yeah.
I can't see that in my mind. Me, I still got the what two colors go good together and paint the fuselage and wrap the wings.
I understand that. You guys, let me interrupt for a second. You guys, hang on a second. I want to, Mark, is that right? Mark Lumen?
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Well,
hey, Mark.
fantastic. Thanks for coming in. I'm excited to have a new face in here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, actually, like I say, I'm in Africa. I'm in Nigeria right now, so it's my work takes me all around. I'm a pilot, so I fly for a private gentleman, and we take us all around the world. And I just started. I started back in, or not back into it. I had the old Cox 19 when I was like 13 years old. So yeah, 19. So yeah, and just got started here. I actually probably less than a couple of months ago. I got a magician I'm building. Just getting that started. Actually, strangely enough, I have two. One that I started in the U.S. with, let's say, my mentor, and when I come over here, I said, what a great opportunity. I'm over here usually probably 3-4 weeks at a time, and I sit around a lot. So what a great opportunity to build some. So that's the story. The builds are going good. The one in the U.S. I finished. Had to put a McCoy 35 on it. And used real silk for the wings. So my first covering job was real silk.
Wow, very good.
Wow, that was a job.
I've never used silk.
I have to say there was a good learning process.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
And,
my first 35 size was silk. It's a job.
Yeah, in the end, this one over here, I've just because of where I'm at, and I couldn't bring any dope over on the airplane. I got some ultra coat, so I'm going to try that just for the learning curve. I've been able to do that also.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's
well.
Good
Welcome.
Stuff.
Make it a habit. I'd love to have you come in all the time. It'd be great.
Yeah, great. Like I say, I'm laying up in bed. It's like 3 a.m. here or something.
I was fixing to ask you what time it was.
Yeah. About 3:30. I'm off cycle. We come in yesterday from Atlanta, so that's 11 hours for us, and we got in about the middle of the day, and we were tired, so I slept pretty much all day. So I'm on the wrong cycle now. So.
Yeah.
I'll catch up soon.
Now, is your magician? Is it the Midwest, the Brodax, or which one is
it? Funny you should ask. The first one was like I say, my mentor guys. He had the Midwest, the 48-inch Midwest kit, the original Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So built that one over there, and then I ordered the one from Brodax, so that would be the 43. So that would be I guess the original per se, from what I know.
So how do you what do you think about the Brodax one versus the Midwest one?
Well, the Midwest one was probably an original kit.
Yeah.
Yep. It had some age on it, and that's great. The Brodax kit, I have to say, for a new builder, and the Midwest kit, I would say, obviously was, I guess they were die cut back then, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Brodax kit would absolutely be superior as far as dry fit. Everything coming together. Yeah, I guess, and I'm assuming that's because of the laser cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I built 2 Midwest magician kits as a kid, and that was my first love. I mean, I built coming from a Cox PT-19, then I went to a Carl Goldberg jumping bean and a little wizard, and then when I built the magician, it was like, oh my goodness, what a good flying plane. And I had a Super Tiger 35 with a tap tone muffler on it, and the plane, and I made the flaps functional, and it flew so good I had to build another one. I love that plane. Matter of fact, I've been planning to build another one because I want to go back to my kind of like a midlife crisis. Instead of
Back
I
to Luke.
can't afford a Corvette, so I'm going to get a Midwest Magician.
You know, you're talking about that midlife crisis. I'm still flying my midlife crisis. I'm still flying my shoestring.
Yeah. I don't want a girlfriend, by the way. So any ladies out there, forget it. I just want a Midwest Magician.
I've got the plan. I got the blueprints for a magician. I don't know which one it is though. I'll have to look and see. I think it's the Midwest because I think it's 48 inch.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference in the kits as far as build wise, what I recognize was the Brodak kit had the half ribs in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the original Midwest kit didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think pretty much, other than that, I think everything's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Speaking of magicians, my brother's got the Magician 15, and he's got an elevator. One side of the elevator is warped, but it's painted. Can you steam that out, or would it be easier just to cut it out and redo it?
Steam it.
I didn't know being painted if it would still steam out.
Well, your wing, we took a wing, and I went to Tucson 2 years ago, well, 5 years ago now. And I got out there and had a bad warp in the wing, and we went to the hotel room and took a pot of water and put it on the hot plate. Got the water boiling good, and Charlie Reeves and Tommy Looper and I bent the thing back the other way and got it straight, and hotter than it flew great. But don't ever,
even though it's painted, it'll still steam out.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it will. Yes. Matter of fact, I can echo that because I at BSC, it must be something about BSC, but at BSC, I was flying an Olympic and it was warped and it was painted, and we steamed it out. It was Bart Kopinski, myself.
You went over to what you call its house?
Yeah, Bart Kopinski's house.
Yeah.
And another guy, Mark Doobie, I think, and then Preston Wilson. So between the four of us, we dewarped it. You know, my job and Preston's job, we had cold rags. After they would twist it, we'd cool so it hold the shape. You know.
Yeah.
And so could you steam it like that and then clamp it?
We steamed it and then we used cool rags to cool the temperature to set it.
I mean, like, could you steam it like that and then just put two straight edges on it and clamp it down? Like,
you can do that. I've done that.
If you're by yourself, you know.
You can do that.
That's probably the best way if you're by yourself.
Because it's just a solid I think the Magician there, the 15 size is probably no more than 3/16 elevator on it.
Mm-hmm.
At the most.
I did a Ringmaster 576 and the trailing edge warped, and I steamed it and put it between two pieces of tuba 2, I think it was, and clamped them together. And the next morning it's been straight ever since.
Yeah, I've got that Buster. I got a recover for Lucas. The inboard wing is got a bow in it. It's not twisted or nothing. It's just got that bow and a trailing edge. So I was gonna either soak it down with hot water or steam it and then put it between a couple of pieces of aluminum angle iron, clamp it down and overnight so it'll straighten up. But I didn't know, because it's bare wood, because it had the covering on it, but being painted on that elevator, I didn't know if it would steam out or not.
It'll steam out fine, but just give you a word of warning: don't transport your airplanes in the back of a car with a lot of glass, and then have it one edge leaning or laying on something where it's putting it in a little bit of a bind, because you will have a warp by the time you get where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you something here. I'll draw it out.
You're going to turn your camera on, Eddie. We can't see you yet.
Camera is on.
You're not showing up here.
I can see
Showing
me.
up here.
Huh?
Yeah, he's
I
here.
don't see you, Eddie.
Yeah,
I see Tran has showed up.
I see everybody.
Hear you, but I don't see you.
Let me turn it off and turn it back on.
While you're doing that, Eddie, I want to make a comment on your talking about painting your plane and getting the the trim schemes on it and the colors. A couple of suggestions: get yourself a color wheel, an artist color wheel, and learn how to use it, because you'll learn what compatible colors are, opposites, triads. You'll learn about how all of these colors can enhance each other and work together. That'll help you as far as colors go. Then the other thing, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Then the other thing you want to do, start taking a lot of pictures or mental pictures of planes you see that you like their color scheme or their trim scheme, and copy it. Start copying it, and then pretty soon you can start adding your own little embellishments or making your own little changes. But get some ideas of what looks good to you, know how you want to do it, and then go for it. You can do it. Anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you a weird one. I was building my first scratch build that I designed and couldn't figure out a color scheme for it. My wife came up with a color scheme. I thought, oh my God, orange, yellow, and black. Okay, so I did it. I've gotten more comments over the years on that color scheme and that airplane than any other plane I've ever built.
Yeah, look at Tran.
Well, it turned out
Look at
the trim just fit the airplane.
It's black.
Start out with a color you can see.
Yep.
Right.
I built an airplane that was absolutely beautiful. It's basically gray, but then it's got some olive drab and it's got some other darker colors on it. Mute it, make it look like a wartime FW-190. Only problem is I can't see the full thing when it's flying. It disappears in the trees. It disappears in the sky. It just disappears.
Well, it was its job was to disappear.
Yeah, well, it did a good job of it. I couldn't see it, so I ended up having to sell it. I didn't want to refinish it, so I sold it. But I've done that twice.
I'd be highly tempted, if I was going to do a Focke-Wulf 190, to do their color scheme they had on the Focke-Wulfs that they put around the airfields where the ME-262s were taken off and landing on.
Mm-hmm.
They were dead with the white and red stripes on them and that, so that their gunners wouldn't shoot them down while they're protecting the jets while they're taking off and landing, because that's when they're most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
I did that. I'm doing that big
I
Raven
can't,
Bearcat.
Eddie.
No. I can't get Eddie.
I can see you, Eddie.
I can see you.
I did that big Raven Bearcat. Anyway,
with the invasion
with a 76, 72, Sato 72 four-stroke. And I got the thing all painted that nice dark blue, and it's a real dark blue. I called the Smithsonian, got the number, and I called Class Coat, and they got me the right blue. It really is the color the Navy used. The problem is that stuff disappears against everything. So I called Al Rigby, and I said, okay, now what do I do? He said, you do like I did. You put great big numbers on the side of the airplane in white so you can see the full thing. And he's right. That's what I had to do. But 201, and I got 201B on it, not realizing it's exactly what Al put on his, but I did it for the Boxer, and that's exactly what he did. But anyway, I didn't mean to be downright copying Al, even though I did his airplane, but I did.
Right. Anyway, those of you that can see me, you was talking about transporting your planes. Here's what I do. I've got I don't know if you can see it or not. I made that out of PVC pipe onto a wooden pallet that fits in the back of my truck. And it's at a 45. And then when I pull it out of my truck and set it on my tailgate, it sets like this, and they're stacked up, and then I can just pull them off as I'm ready to use them. And I get ready, I just slide it back up in my truck with my topper on. I can carry 7 airplanes at once. And that.
I like the sounds of it. I can't see it, but I like the sound of it.
Yeah,
But basically,
you're not showing up on YouTube either.
It's I just made like a 2 foot wide, 6 foot long pallet, and drilled my holes in it where they're evenly spaced to match my spacing on my jig. It comes out of the wood at a 45-degree angle, so everything's at a 45, and then it's teed off of the bottom ones to go to the next one up at the same distance, so everything's uniform. The only thing is that when I put that Tudor 2 in there, it was just a little longer than my other planes, so I had to put it in last and pull the tail down so it'll clear the topper. If not, I hit the rudder.
Eddie, along the lines of what you did there years ago, I'm talking about 30, 35 years ago, there was an article in, I think it was RCM, Radio Control Model, and they had a similar situation back in a truck like you have. But what they did is they had little wheels up on the front, and they had a little fold down leg, so you pull it out, and the legs drop down, and you had everything on there. You had your flight box, your fuel, your planes, everything on it. You just pull it out. Now you could get to everything. When you got done, you grab the legs, pull them up, and just roll it back in, lock it up.
I remember that. The guy used it in the back
of
the station wagon.
Yeah, anything like that. You could put it in a van. Yeah. In fact, I think they went so far as they had a little latch or a lock that they put back there so they could lock it in place, so it wouldn't slide forward or back while they drove down the road.
That's pretty neat. Well, Steve made it, I see.
See, you did too. Charles decided to let you in, huh?
Yeah.
He's first one in.
He doesn't hold a grudge that long. A couple weeks is about it.
Yeah, you know.
Me and Charles were the only ones on here at the beginning.
I got to stay on Charles' good side. I mean,
yeah,
he plays dirty.
We all do.
He's got the controller. Lordy.
So, what'd you have to do to get on? I see that your name's not up anymore.
I went to Chrome.
Oh, okay.
I said I'd never do it, but my wife got a hold of my machine and she put it on here, and she says, "Here's what you do to get on." See, I'm not too good at one of these things. I know how to fix them, but don't ask me to operate the full thing. But my wife she lays her healing hand on it, and it works.
Yeah, I know that's what Bob Hunt had a problem there a lot. He kept getting kicked off and couldn't get in and stuff, and he had to do something. But it's only on this 8x8. The other one doesn't.
Yeah, Jitsi works fine, but it's hard for Charles. So, whatever. Hey, we'll keep playing with it till we get something going.
Well, you're on, so you got Chrome. Yeah. It can't have used up that much space on your hard drive or memory or however that works.
Oh, no, it's just I just got upset with Chrome when it first came out and said I wouldn't use it. Well, I didn't use it, but my wife did, so. And it worked, so I guess I'll continue using the darn stuff. But no, the problem was on my computer, not on this thing, but on my computer with Chrome, every time I turn the thing on, I have to just turn it on, key it up, walk away from it 15, 20 minutes because it's going to update.
Yeah.
And update and update and update. And I just get tired of it.
Well, I got that, I got the new Microsoft, that Wave or whatever it is.
Microsoft Edge.
Edge,
yeah.
That's what I'm using too.
Since I stuck that on the laptop and on this one, the laptop was notorious for that. You start it up and come back in 2 hours because it was always up. But with Edge, I haven't had the problem on either one.
Well, I'll put Edge on my laptop then.
Yeah, try it. I mean, I haven't had any problems on that little laptop anymore, but it always was. I'd set it to update at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and for some reason, it didn't update until I turned the damn thing on. It got everything at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it waited till I turned it on to generate it or whatever.
Yeah, that's about what mine was doing. Drove me crazy. It don't take much to drive me crazy. Now, if I ever get out of putter, I'm in trouble.
Can't believe it's not Margie.
Hey, anybody, you guys get the new aviation magazine?
Yeah.
I did.
You guys see that printed airplane the guy's doing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I watched the video on it. Got on there's some YouTube things about it and stuff like that. But what I was thinking is why would you have to put a skin on it? Why couldn't you build all that, the wing up and all that, and then just do like we do and just put silk and dope over it?
You can.
And save some
No
more
reason
weight.
you couldn't. I mean, if those things are strong enough to put motors on, build into the front of a wooden airplane, put an electric motor in it, and let that pull the airplane, then surely it's strong enough to be a wing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Good
pretty
question,
cool
Steve.
how he designed all the ribs, with like a ladder or whatever. Everything is, super light on a rib or whatever.
Would the dope and silk stick to it?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't see if CA sticks to it.
Well, it sticks on the front. I mean, I've got it on the front of one of my my new Crossfire is one of those plastic front ends, and it stuck to the wood. And then I put I forgot the name of that stuff that Sparky talks about all the time. That putty to level it all out. Super fill, and then fiberglass over top of that, back to the high point of the wing. And so far, I haven't seen any cracking or any indication of any problems at all. I think it's going to work. So if it does that, it should do a wing.
But the first airplane didn't fly. The CG was too far back and stuff, and so he went back in and lengthened the nose and stuff like that on the next one, and the thing flew really good.
That sounds neat.
And he said that, for the amount of wing area and stuff, it was no heavier than conventional building. Well, that's conventional building for an RC.
Yeah.
I mean, a 40 size airplane weighs 6.5 pounds.
Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is that, how we made the wing pieces, the ribs are all in there and stuff, and then the skins on it. And then he glued it together in pieces, which was kind of neat. And the same thing with the fuselage, how he did that, and then because his printer isn't that big, he printed it out in, I don't know, 8-inch sections or whatever.
Yeah.
And glued it together. But I was thinking, if you printed out a wing like that, why couldn't you just cover it in silk span, and you'd get away from 60-70% of that material?
That's a good question.
I think you could, Steve, but I think what you're looking at is what you're going to do for spars. I mean, the spars have got to carry the load. If you're not going to sheet the leading edge with the balsa to get a D tube wing or even a C tube wing. So you're going to have to come up with some way to maintain you can carry the load, the aerodynamic load, because the ribs don't have to be that strong. They just have to be a little bit strong in compression. So yeah, you could print those ribs up and use them with silk span or dope or something along that line. But again, I would say you'd want to have a carbon fiber spar or something in there, one top, one bottom, or else an I-beam. I don't know. But you're going to have to get some strength in there. In fact, I would even think about and Tran, you could correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you might want to have standard spars and then have some carbon fiber on your leading edge, back side of your leading edge. Well, it's not a spar; it's a leading edge material, and your trailing edge material, just to give you some good strength through. What do you think, Trey? And how do you consider that?
Train, your mic's not on.
I muted your mic, Tryon, because your standing was too loud.
Okay, so are you talking about printed planes?
Yeah.
I've seen them blowing up in the air at very low loads. So, and I have no faith in their structural integrity. For normal flying, like a level flight, gentle flying, or something like that, they're fine. But if you try to do stunts with them, forget it.
Well, that's what I was talking about, was using the carbon fiber spars at the trailing edge, at the normal spar location, and even some carbon fiber up around the leading edge.
You need to reinforce the spar itself, because if you don't reinforce the main spar, what good is it?
Well, yeah. So you've got to.
I think maybe if you reinforce the main spar, you might get away with it. But I don't see how is it going to be any lighter than the structures that we get right now out of balsa and normal balsa wood, right? Because it's plastic, and plastic and another thing that I have a problem with those printed parts is that they're layer after layer after layer. So basically, they're just little strands of like hairline strands that are glued together by melting them through the previous layer. Now, I don't know how good is the gluing between them, but I did print out some parts in the past, and guess what? If you try to pull them apart, so let's say this is layered like that, right?
No.
You can pull it apart like this, and you can see the crack just propagates through the whole part, because it's actually the whole layer that fails. So, I don't have faith in them.
I see we have a new guest, Roger. Roger, can you turn on your mic or camera?
Yeah, it looks like he's froze up.
It'd be interesting to print up the ribs with extreme, like as if you were cutting them out of like ply, very thin down sections, but a lot of vertical and diagonal reinforcement, and just use the printed ribs in place of the balsa ribs, because balsa is getting so dang expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. Well,
make a truss type rib.
Yeah.
If you want to do something that's easy, and you can also use some fiberglass and foam construction.
Yeah.
Which is pretty easy to do. You hot wire the wing, and then you put a layer of fiberglass on a piece of mylar, and you vacuum bag it on top of the wing, and you have a nice thin skin of fiberglass on top of it, and put your finish on top of it, and you're done.
Good point.
Makes sense. That's kind of like what Bob Hunt was talking about the other week.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is that like for your wing tapers at a different percentage as it goes to the tip, it would be, you could print that in. That's hard to do in foam.
No.
What's hard to do in foam is an elliptical wing.
Yeah, that's something else. But in foam, like a straight taper wing, it's easy to do.
Well, no, but yours isn't straight tapered, is it?
Yes.
Oh, it is. I thought that yours had a different, some kind of different percentage or something. It moved.
Thickness.
Huh?
Percent thickness.
Yeah, but didn't you also do something else with that wing to move, like the spar back in it?
You might have moved the high point a little bit forward to help delay the stall, things like that.
High point is normal.
High point. So basically, he's got just a smaller version, but it's slightly thicker.
So you could
tip.
So you could cut your wing out of foam and it'll be exactly like the wing in your airplane.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought you did something different. You were saying on your wing.
No, it's relatively easy. If you look at actually the videos I posted in the Stunt Hangar that deal with composite constructions, they do exactly this kind of construction where you put some kind of fiberglass or some kind of composite stuff on top of the foam, and you also introduce some kind of spars in there, stuff like that. So if you look at that, what he does, he has a foam wing, and then he vacuum bags it. But you cannot use this white foam because if we were to use this white foam like this one, this is going to collapse because the vacuum is so strong. It's going to squish and it's going to smoosh the foam.
How many air pockets in that?
Yeah, because it's an open cell foam. Open cell foam means the air can travel through them. But if you get a closed cell foam, like the one from Home Depot and stuff like that, you can vacuum bag as much vacuum pressure you can pile on it. It's going to take it. So depends on that. That's what it's. So it's pretty easy. I mean, just like you just hot wire the core, and after that you take a piece of mylar, or some. You can buy some thin polycarbonate, like 10,000 stick, or 10 to 14,000 stick, no more than that. And you can use that as a medium to put the glass on top of the foam. So the idea is you cut a template out of the.
Okay. Yeah. She's already sent me in then and then. Okay. So it's just that. Cool. Exactly. I have a fit. He sees this.
Who is that?
That's Ed. Eddie, I just unmuted your mic. So when you want to speak, you have to unmute your mic.
Train, go ahead and finish. That sounded good.
Was it me?
So what you do?
No, it wasn't you.
Make a template out of the polycarbonate, and say you cut it to the right size, whatever the size is to cover your wing, right? So you figure out what it is, and then you just cut your polycarbonate to the correct size. Let's say this is the correct size, right? Like this. So you lay this down flat on top of the table. You wax it, so make sure it doesn't stick on it or something like that. And then you lay up your fiberglass. You cut the fiberglass to the exact same size, or you don't have to. I mean, actually put it right on top of it, right? And you get your epoxy and a paint roller, and you use the paint roller to put the epoxy on it, right? Now this is going to go right on top of your piece of foam, right? And it's going to wrap around, and when you pull the vacuum down on it, it's going to just it's going to work as more of like a bridge, right? So when you and next day when you take it out, this is going to peel off, right? And on the top of the wing, you have that nice thin layer of fiberglass that you left on the top of the wing, and that's all there's to it.
Already smooth. It's already smooth, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of how Bob Hunt does it, but instead he does the wing, sticks the balsa down, then he puts on his epoxy resin, then he puts the mylar down, and then weights it and squishes it, wipes it dry or whatever, and then weights it and does it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's using balsa wood instead of the fiberglass.
Same procedure.
Yeah, but why put balsa wood and fiberglass when you can just put fiberglass?
Well, no, he doesn't use fiberglass. He uses balsa wood and resin. There's no fiberglass in it.
Okay, but the fiberglass is probably lighter than the balsa wood and much stiffer.
I wouldn't say no. Fiberglass is heavy.
It depends how you lay it. Now, here's the trick. When you have your mylar piece, your piece of polycarbonate, and do the fiberglass, you put paper towels on top of it. And you take all the excess resin out. Now, when you put this on top of your wing, it's going to be pretty light.
When you vacuum bag it, that makes sure that there's a good contact and a good seal, and it locks it in real solid.
Yes, that's the idea. You know, you want to make sure you have a good glue joint. And actually, after you make the wing, it's actually going to make half of the wing, or you can even make a full wing if you have the whole airfoil cut. You can do the top and the bottom at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he took his foam, he cut a spar down the center, then cut the foam, glued that together, basically covered it with fiberglass like that, vacuum bagged it. Then he took acetone and ate out all the foam.
Nah, it's not a good idea because fiberglass is not going to be strong enough to hold.
You know, then basically you have no foam in it. But I was thinking you could do the same thing with carbon fiber. Put it all on there, vacuum bag it down, and then just dissolve the foam.
All right. This is an elevator that's done like that with that technique, right? So I have the foam. I put a layer of, this is a layer of fiberglass on top of it, and you can see the spars are just some pieces of unidirectional. And that's it. And I gave it a little bit of paint on it. So
why didn't you do
looks like this?
Why didn't you do that, your wing like that on your airplane?
Because it would be too thick. The wing would be very thick in section. Then I have to hollow it after that. And I didn't want, I only have to have certain things. I want to have some interchangeable parts. I want to have more precision, which means you make a mold. But that being said, you know, you can do, you can make a mold of some sort, and you can make a longer mold and just skip the wingtips if you want to. And you can make shorter wings, longer wings, or you can cut them in panels and join them together. And you can just use fiberglass foam and fiberglass, and you make your wings like that. So
very good. Let me interrupt for a minute, you guys. We have two new guests, and one I see is Roger. Roger, if you can hear us, can you turn on your mic at least and introduce yourself? And the second guest, I don't know their name. They just have a guest. So the guest, if you can go up into the settings and enter your name, that would be greatly appreciated.
They might be a little shy yet.
So here you go, guys. I'm building a prowler right now.
Oh, very good.
This is the fuselage. It's going to be just a test bed for my for the stuff I want to develop, and I'm making conversion to electric. So the first thing I've done is you see those engine bearers.
Yeah.
The motor mounts.
Right.
I just basically cut them in half.
Very good. And
I also extended them out about 1/2 inch or so, which is going to give you more clearance on the backside for the battery. Now another thing that I'm going to do, since this is electric, in electric you don't have vibrations, you don't have to transmit the vibrations to the wing, so technically I can just put a ring over here in the front, and that's all the strength you need on the nose area, right? But I have to put batteries, and I have to put electronics and stuff like that. Then I have to strap the battery around and stuff like that. So what I've done. I made some other decisions, and the original part comes to the original kit came with these pieces as doublers, which are a very nice piece of 1/8 inch plywood. But I'm gonna pitch this stuff, and I'm gonna use a 1/16 piece of plywood because I don't need any more than that. So that's kind of the idea.
All right, well, hang on a second, guys. Okay, I have these two guests, and I need you to communicate with us, or else I'm going to kick you guys out. Because I would like to make Tryon larger, but if I make Tryon larger, I can't see what you guys are doing. So I need your cooperation, or I'm going to kick you two out. I'm going to kick out Roger, and I'm going to kick out the guy which has no name. And this is my last question I'm going to ask you. Will you please enable your microphone and say something?
I think the guess that was Phil.
No, Phil had his name on it. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to kick these two guys out. Here we go. Someone's cooperating. And I hate to do this, but I don't want any trolls.
Yeah, I think Phil's the guest, but yeah, he can get back in.
Well, I'm here, but I don't know if you can hear me or see me or not.
Oh, I hear you.
We can't see you, Phil. Turn your camera on.
Yeah, you're
right. That was Phil.
Yeah, that's where he's been on my screen all night.
Okay, how about Roger?
The Roger, I don't know. But it's been gray on my screen, like he's froze up. Mike turned gray a little bit ago, and he was gone.
Well, Roger, just come back in. And I really hate to kick out a new person, but
yeah, he's got good signal, so there's no excuse for him not to have his own.
Yeah, he's gone now.
No, I kicked him out.
Yeah, good signal. He should have at least a mic on.
Yeah.
Damn, Phil, you're lucky I said something. Charles was just looking for a reason to kick you out again.
Well, Tryon was trying to show us something, and I felt bad that I didn't want to make him big. If I make him big, I can't see anything else that's going on. So, because Tryon, I thought was showing some stuff that was great, but I felt bad keeping him small.
He's too big for his britches anyway, so you gotta be.
Hey, Phil, I saw a post, an article looked at the other day. It was a lost foam cowl, how to make a lost foam cowl. And you take the foam and carve it out the way you want it, and then wrap it in fiberglass with your nose ring and everything on it. And then, of course, it sticks to the fiberglass. And you wrap it in however strong you want it to be, or 2 layers, 3 layers, whatever. And then you just carve out the styrofoam.
Yeah.
And you've got a fiberglass cowl.
Well, I'll tell you.
So I'm gonna try it on that nowhere to see how it turns out. And these days talking about some people use gasoline or thinner or acetone, stuff like that to heat the styrofoam out, but they said it makes a big flammable mess.
Yeah.
That the easiest way is just to carve the most of it out as you can, and then take some like sandpaper or something and.
Man, Bob, I have a lost foam technique.
Smooth it out.
You just.
If you want to get rid of all of it, you feel better.
Yeah, I see you, Ed. I see Ed.
If you want to get rid of most of it, you can hollow it out as much as you can just with your knife, and then just use very little. It takes very little gas, less than 2 ounces.
Oh yeah.
Just take it out in the yard and just pour a little bit in, and you can get rid of all of it. You'll be down to bare fiberglass. You won't be carrying any extra foam around with you, and it just makes it that much lighter. And you're getting to the back of the bare fiberglass where you can glue to it. You can't glue to that foam.
Yeah, the other thing is too, you use a little gasoline and put all over that foam, and then light it with your lighter. Burn that foam out of there.
Yeah.
Pay no attention. Pay no attention, Steve. He's had too much cerveza. He drunk.
Don't take that advice.
But I'm gonna try that, and I'll let you know how it looks.
That's how we always used to do it when we made cowls, canopies, and stuff like that. Because when we got into take apart airplanes, we always had a canopy that we had a little push pin, and we popped the canopy off. So we'd make it out of foam, get it all fitted and stuff, and then fiberglass it up and make it like that.
Did you ever build a Dirty Birdie or any of those where you did exactly what you just said, except the pipe came up through the canopy?
Yeah.
Out the back. Yeah, I did that one time. I can't remember if it was a Dirty Birdie or a Phoenix, or I had 5 different ones.
Mine was the Eclipse.
I never had an Eclipse. I couldn't find one. We had one guy that flew with us that had one of those, and he was from up New York somewhere. Some of those cats up there must have some real money, because they can come to these contests and just spend money all week and go home, and it doesn't seem to bother them. And I have to plan for a trip. I have to plan for a trip to Brodak for 3 months. So,
Well, all that, the Eclipse was just a little bigger Dirty Birdie.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he just made it bigger and ran the pipe up through the top. There wasn't a whole lot of difference with really any of them things. It's kind of like the SV11 and the 22 and all that's about the same.
Yeah.
That's how Joe Birdie or Brady or however you say his name. I always said Birdie, but
I call him Brady, but I don't know. But I know one thing, he came with some good planes. But then that Phoenix came along, and that thing was something. And then just about the time I got the Phoenix all straightened out and ready to go fly, here comes the turnaround pattern. Oh, give me a break. And it's been changing every 2 years ever since. Seems like. I don't know how often they change, but it just, all my stuff is the old stuff. Dirty Birds and I've got a UFO down there. I think I've still got a Phoenix. I'm not sure.
Chaos.
But,
I got some Chaos.
Yeah, I've got 2 Chaoses. Come think of it. That's right. It's a Chaos and a Super Chaos.
Yeah.
And
I got a Killer Chaos and a regular Chaos 60.
I never saw a Killer Chaos. I always heard about it.
A Killer Chaos is a tail dragger.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference. He does the rudder a little bit different, and then it's a tail dragger.
Okay.
Which one
I was looking at this Dirty Birdie. That's a pretty sharp little plane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dirty Birdies. They were a good flying airplane. I mean, I always
got the canopy up.
I flew the Calypso
Yeah.
because it was such an easy plane to fly, and the pipe was underneath, and you just had that little hollowed out part going down the fuselage, but people didn't like it because you could see the pipe hanging out down there. And I'm like, what's the difference? You run yours on the side and you see the pipe on the side of your airplane.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
mine was usually going by so darn fast you couldn't see much anyway.
I like that one.
Go ahead.
Remember that Japanese, I can't think of what his name was. It was an OK model.
Akira or something.
And the pipe came through the fuselage and exited out back at the tail. And that was cooler than hell. But they said that fuel and stuff would get down in there and rot your airplane apart.
Well, you know, his airplanes, we all thought he was building conventionally. And if you ever actually got to look at his airplane, it was fiberglass. So what he'd do at the end of the contest, he'd just take his wings off, take the darn airplane and wash it out. Yeah. He just took his radio equipment. His radio equipment was in there on a tray that 4 screws, and take the arms off. He just pulled all his electronics out of the thing and wash it out with a water hose and some soap. So he was that Jap was smart, but most of them were back in those days.
How hard would it be to make that control line?
Talk to Trey. Talk to Trey. He's the man. He's the man of the
You
hour.
could probably
with
make
bowling.
a control line as long as you didn't put a bell crank in it, because that's right where the pipe came through.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you didn't use a pipe engine, I mean, if you just use a side exhaust.
Thing is you got form follows function, and an RC pattern ship is a cable airplane for RC pattern.
But it won't fly stunt.
It won't fly stunt, not as we fly. Our turns are much sharper, much more
violent.
It's just a different airplane. It's like trying to fly a Form 40 racer in pattern, RC pattern. You can't do it. You ain't gonna do it. It's not built for that.
The only airplane that I ever liked that transferred was first a control line airplane, and then became an RC airplane, was a Smoothie. And that Smoothie flew great as an RC airplane.
But was it
almost like a chaos and stuff like that. But that Smoothie really
was it the original Smoothie? Because I've seen RC Smoothies, but they weren't Smoothie like Bob Palmer designed it.
No. What was the plane that the guy that flew it designed it to be either one, and you changed it back and forth? Tom's got plans to it, but I can't remember what it is. It's getting old is bad. I can't remember anything anymore.
Hey guys, 1 second. Let me ask Mike Lonke. Hey Mike, is Sam there? We hadn't had a chance to congratulate him in person. Hey Sam,
Yeah, somebody's messing around back here.
Good job. Over 500 in intermediate. You are kicking butt. Awesome.
I think he's going to beat his dad.
Yeah, I think his dad knows that too.
Yeah. I think his dad's days are numbered.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look too. Sam's reflexes are going to improve. Mike's is not.
Yeah, Mike's is like mine, diminishing quickly.
There's a fellow I knew back. A fellow I knew back when I lived in the Midwest. He was quite famous. Worked for Top Flight. He was an expert on monocoque, stuff like that. But he's also a scale flyer. He flew a lot of scale.
Dan Sanich.
Charlie. Charles Ron. Charlie Ron. I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, he had a Sky Raider. There was balsa and was covered in monocoque, and he was, like I say, he was an expert with monocoque. That thing, he came to the Milwaukee Circle Masters when I belonged there. He came and did a huge presentation on monocoque and monocoating, and he talked about monocoating on balsa. And what he did, well, I'm a little off subject, but he'd use his iron and heat the balsa up first, get all the moisture out of that balsa on the fuselage, and then he'd heat form the monocoque and then stick it down and then shrink it with a heat gun, and so it wasn't all glued. Yeah. Well, anyway, but that airplane, he flew that in control line scale and RC scale. Inside the airplane, the receiver was there, all of the servos were there, and a belt crank was there, and all he had to do is just transfer the belt crank push rod to the elevator or hook the one up to the RC. And he'd look at his competition, decide which one he was going to fly when he went to a contest.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll be back in just a minute, guys.
Charlie Bauer, that's his name, Bauer.
Hey, has anybody heard where the World Championships is going to be held in 22? Have they announced it? Bill, you don't want to miss.
Steve, did you just lock up there?
No, I was just asking the question. If they have announced where they're going to fly the World Championships in 22.
I thought they were going to do it in 21.
Yeah, well, they moved 20 to 21. But if it's every 2 years, then they'd have another one in 22 to get
I see where
back on schedule. And I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either. Not to change the subject, but the other day I got a wild one and decided years ago in 1993 I had my first article published in Model Builder magazine. And it was for a control line stunt for intermediate to low advanced, because that's what I was flying at that time. And what happened? I built one right after the article came out for the franchise Twister. I built one, and I liked the way it flew, but I lost it at one of the last contests. And so that during that winter, I designed this airplane. Basically, it was a full body twister, a franchise Twister, and it's called the Twister Sister. And being at the famous band of the Twisted Sisters. So anyway, that's where that came from. Anyway, so I called up AMA, and sure enough, they had that article there. And when he found out that I was the author of that, he said, "Oh, I've got a special deal for the guys, for authors with these. I'll let you have it for the price of the shipping." So anyway, he said you also get a copy of the original article. So he sent it all to me, and I'm glad he did, because I still had the original plans here, but they were on vellum with paper. I was still doing it by hand in those days. In fact, it was one of the last ones I did by hand, and that, I don't know about pencil, but over the years it fades, you know.
Oh.
And so I can read it, I can see it, but it's not very clear. But what they have is the original there, and it's nice, and it's good, solid, dark lines and all that stuff. So let me see if I can do this. Hold on a minute.
Alrighty. Hey, does anybody know, is there a difference between the chipmunk and the super chipmunk?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
One's a super.
Leave it to Steve.
I need a snare drum. I should have a snare drum right next to me and a cymbal.
It's a different canopy. It's a different. The front end is different. The moments are. I think I'd have to check. I have both.
They're a little bit different. Wing area is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Chipmunk originally, I think, was the Super Chipmunk was a modified P-51, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
The
Chipmunk.
Not even close.
Super Chipmunk was a modified Chipmunk.
John's telling something there.
The original Super Chipmunk was Art Scholl's Super Chipmunk.
Yeah.
The red, white, and blue chipmunk that everybody has seen is the original Super Chipmunk.
Is that a
the
super
original
chipmunk? Is that a regular?
Is a Canadian trainer.
It's a Canadian trainer. It's a de Havilland. It has nothing to do with a North American P-51 Mustang. Not even in the same league.
I don't know if anybody was looking at it.
I was, John. I'm sorry.
I was.
I didn't know how long you'd be gone, so I asked the question. What was it between the chipmunk and the super chipmunk?
That's a different kind of twister than I've ever seen. That looks like a full body.
It is.
So this is
the Twister Sister. It's got a radial cowl. It's got an extra wing bay, and then the tips on the Twister wing, because I'd moved up here to Salt Lake, and I'm about just under a mile altitude, so it needed a little extra.
John, what motor?
Can be 28.
Good gracious. I remember seeing one of those at the Atlanta contest, and he called it the Twisted Sister. And he had
Well, that wasn't this.
musical. No, it was that one. He had renamed it the Twisted Sister, and he said it was actually a Twister Sister. But he didn't know who had designed it or anything. He just knew. Well, I didn't know you back then anyway. It was 30 years ago, but or not that far back. But anyway, it was a long time ago. And he had the thing. He had a FP40 in his, and it flew well. Yeah. I had
an FP40.
Yeah,
FP40 works.
I have one I still got the original in the basement hanging up. I can't get to it, but I've got it down there. The Stinger, and Stinger is nothing but what everybody calls a fancerized twister. And the only one of any note that knows the difference, other than Tommy, is Bobby Hunt. He came here for a contest, and I showed him my Stinger, and he says, "Have you seen the what is this? Your version of a fancerized twister?" I said, "What the heck's fancerized twister?" He said, "Well, that's right. The article's not out yet." So Ted and I had the same idea, stretch the tail, but he used. I think I've told you this before. He used half ribs, and I used turbolator spars. But I'll have to bring that thing up here and show y'all one night. It's a neat old airplane. Yeah. It's done I did it in Monaco. It was the first control line I'd ever done in Monaco, and it actually has held up. That plane is 36 years old now. I haven't flown it in about 15, so that's why it's lasted so long. But it's amazing how long the plane has lasted. I'm stunned. But that's the original. That's the original Chipmunk right there.
That's the original Chipmunk.
Okay.
I have that kit downstairs.
And that has a wingspan of what?
Oh, let's see. What does it even say?
56. Somewhere
54.
Around 54. Yeah.
54. Yep. And then the Super Chipmunk is what do you think?
I have that one downstairs too.
53.5.
So it's smaller, huh?
Yeah, they did. There's some difference. When I was at Toledo, Jim Van Loo was there, and the guy who made the Super Chipmunk, whatever his name was, he was there. And they were telling me what the difference in the two were.
Okay.
But the regular Chipmunk here is what David Fitzgerald won as a junior, all that stuff with. And the reason why I got that is that he told me to get that, build it for Samantha. And they did a couple little things to it. But he said that this flies like a modern stunt chip, even though it was before the Super Chipmunk came out, because that's an old kit.
Did he tell you what to do to it to make it work?
Yeah, he told me what to do, and I forgot. I always figured I could ask him again if I ever decided to build it. I should probably. I paid so much damn money for it. I should probably sell it on eBay.
That's the design that's classic legal. The Super Chipmunk is not classic legal. That one is.
Yeah, the fiddlesticks. I forgot what I was trying to say. Never mind.
Isn't it hell to get old?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Well, I appreciate you letting me know that somebody else actually built one of these Twister Sisters. I didn't know that.
Too. I tried to get the plans to that thing for 2 years. I never did get them, but it's a neat looking plane and it flies well. It's a neat looking plane. It flies very well. And we'll send them on and I'll go have it printed up. I don't know when I'll get around to building it, but let me tell you while we're on that, I got you, Mike. I started pulling wood to start cutting the kit for the SL. And I started getting a stack about so tall. And I started looking at what this cost. I think I'm going to call RSM and order a kit. Good Lord, that's a lot of wood in that plane.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wood in that airplane.
What airplane's that?
Hey, hang on, Steve. Hang on a second. Mike wants to say something, and let Mike have the floor. Sorry.
Go for it, Mike.
We haven't talked about whatchamacallit, the King Orange yet.
Yeah, hang on. Go ahead, Mike.
No, actually, we talked about King Orange pretty heavy on Monday of last week. Talked about King Orange, but I'm gonna toggle my camera and show you. Well, Sam's getting down airplanes right now.
Yeah.
Let me show you my score.
Let me show you Halloween. Halloween.
Whoa!
I've been dealing with Marshall Busby's son, who's been selling a lot of stuff on eBay, and then a lot of stuff he didn't want to ship. So I was over there again today. This is all balsa blocks. This is all wrapped Lone Star balsa sticks.
Nice.
All balsa sticks. This is all sheeting.
Nice.
From 16th inch up to 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch sheets. I'll try to get a little shot there, but that's a huge stack of balsa, and that's all AAA contest balsa too, by the way.
You dirty old man! If you build combat ships out of that, somebody ought to hurt you.
There's all this is all bass. This is actually all SIG maple motor mount. This is all SIG maple motor mount.
Wow, Mike.
That whole stack right there, that's all maple right there. There's another nice big pack of sticks.
Oh my goodness, Mike.
That's all. This is all SIG spruce. That's all spruce.
Oh man.
From SIG.
Hey, Mike, when are you taking a 2-week vacation? We'll come over and take care of your house for you.
Different. That's all SIG.
I'll meet you there, John.
Yeah.
Has absolutely no use for any of it.
There's another whole thing of SIG balsa in different sizes.
Wow, Mike.
The main score though, like all this stuff right there, that's all Lone Star balsa and Bud Nosen is most of it.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's all contest balsa from
Mike, you're making it so difficult for us to not covet your balsa.
Well, listen, man, the deal is I just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and the guy is here in my town. And he didn't want to ship any of it, man. He didn't want to try to box his stuff up and ship it on eBay. So
well, I'm happy for you, man. That's awesome.
It's my second trip to Marshall Busby's stash, his storage locker, and I just made him a one-time price on all of it. The other good score on all that is this right here. That's 200 feet of silk span. It's all K&S.
Oh man.
And SIG. Yeah, there's 7 packages of unopened silk span.
Wow.
It's all K&S and SIG, and I think what it ended up being there's 60 sheets of super SGM, so heavy, 60 sheets of medium, and then 120 sheets of the double O.
Keep that out of the sunlight, Mike.
Well, yeah, dude, none of it's been opened. It's all still in the. Some of it's in tubes, and then the rest is
the stuff that's in the clear. Keep it out of the sunlight.
You dirty old man.
Yeah, Phil, you'd be really mad if you knew what I got it all for, man. Dude, just a balsa blocks, man. I mean, it's crazy the amount of stuff he had, and all this stuff, man. It's
Looks like
still,
a canopy mold too. He's made.
It's still
Yeah.
in the shrink wrap. I mean, none of this stuff's been opened, man. It's still in the shrink wrap. All this stuff is still shrink wrapped.
Now, did Marshall build
Oh
planes
yeah,
for people?
Marshall, no, but Marshall was a heck of a builder himself.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
If you've ever seen it,
there's still airplanes over there. So the canopy mold, Steve, that you saw. Yes, you're right.
that's for the Stuka.
And this is the canopy mold for the Stuka, and we talked about this, Phil. My buddy Robert has Mac Henry's Stuka. I think this is the mold that they use to make the canopy for the Stuka.
Man, I'm telling you, that was a beautiful airplane. I saw it at Atlanta, and it was amazing.
Right.
Wow.
There's one more thing I want to show.
All right.
And I don't know.
Uh-oh. As if we're not jealous enough.
I know.
Well, listen, this was in the box of wood. This was in the box of wood. This is, it's like a shoestring or a cosmic wind or something like that. But this is all hardwood. I think he was going to make
a mold.
Well, I don't think it's a mold. I think he was just going to make a hardwood standoff model. I think he was going to make this model for one of his grandkids or something.
Just a static model, yeah.
A static model, yeah, that he never finished. Now, I haven't found the wings or the tail or the rudder anywhere, but God knows where it can be because there's still 6 or 8 boxes full of stuff in the storage unit that me and his son-in-law haven't got to yet. But
wow.
I mean,
wow.
You are really hurt. You're really putting hurt
I think
to
he
me.
was making I think he was making a carved model, display model,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once that's painted, it'll be gorgeous. My goodness.
Amazing.
All right. So,
well, I tell you
just
what,
enough to make you jealous.
Make me jealous. Makes me want to hurt you.
Like I said, Mike,
I'm actually happy for Mike and Sam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to go to waste.
If you're trying to make us jealous, you succeeded, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
sort of being sick.
It's not that. Listen, man, the guy, Mark Tony, he's going to throw all this shit out, man.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I can drive to Nashville. If he's going to throw it out, I'll come get a truckload of it.
It's going in a dumpster. You know? He doesn't want to. He can't ship it. How can you ship this much balsa?
Oh, there's a way to ship balsa. Bob Hunt does a really good job.
It's got to go to a good home, is what I say.
Yeah, and you're
tell him there's one just north of Nashville.
Hey, Mike, I'm happy for you, Mike.
How do you list? How do you list 300 sheets of balsa and sell them on eBay? I mean, how do you do that?
There's people who do it. So many at $1 a sheet or whatever.
20 sheets at a time.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to go through the hassle of doing all that, and I'm telling you, you'd be sick if you knew what I paid him for the.
I know. Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. I don't want to get sick.
It didn't go to
You
waste.
guys don't listen. I want to know.
No, but I'm happy for you, Mike.
Know?
That's good.
Yeah, we want to know.
$25.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Case of beer.
$100.
$100.
$100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Well, you know what? To
It's
his
a standard price. I did the same thing. I had about that much, but mine, it wasn't all double A stuff, and I gave the guy, $100. It was his dad's or whatever, and I went home with a damn truckload of balsa. But it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Right. Well, and I gave him $100 for all the silk span too.
Oh, that's
I gave him
great.
$100 for the silk span.
That's great.
Well, he probably figures that's going to cover his rent for a couple of months. On the building.
Well, that's like my brother got that. What was that? Paul Walker's airplane.
Impact.
Impact.
My brother got an Impact.
From Stan
all
Powell.
done with a PA 61 pipe, everything, $100.
Wow, that's a great deal.
And
Stan
I
Powell,
forget
a moment of weakness.
the numbers on it. I forget what big time builder built the thing. He bought it from a guy at the Nats, but he died and nobody wanted it, And my brother bought a bunch of other stuff, and his sister's like, "Doesn't anybody want this or whatever?" And she asked my brother, "You want this?" He goes, "All I got left is $100." She goes, "Okay." He handed her $100, but he spent like $500 there that day. But they wanted it all gone that day, out of the base.
Is that tan one?
Yeah.
Okay, Stan Powell's the guy that built it.
Stan Powell.
Stan Powell. He's the guy that built the K&B 40s for Les McDonald.
That's beautiful, Steve.
And he's a heck of a builder. That's pretty.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the extra set of I don't know. I guess for the pavement, and it's got a different set for grass.
To go on what plane?
That Impact.
Wow.
That's off that Impact.
Yeah,
Steve.
I hadn't thought about that, but that does sound right because he had the gear like that.
What?
What you said there is how this balsa deal went down. The first time I went over to Marshall's son-in-law's, I gave him $500 for a couple airplanes and a couple of motors, and then I made my second trip and got all this balsa, and he don't want to ship it. You don't want to have to sell it on eBay and try to ship it.
We tried to get her to put it on eBay. She wanted nothing to do with it, and everybody's like, "Man, he stole that." And it's like, why didn't you go there and buy it? No one showed up. I mean, there was 5 of us that showed up for all this stuff, and I spent like $300, but we were leaving in a week for the World Championships, and I didn't want to spend any more money, because I wanted it for the World Championships. I told her, the stuff's here when we get back. I got money, I'll offer you some stuff for it.
I've given this guy as of right now, like $800 I've paid this guy, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's all stuff that he doesn't have to box up and ship.
Right.
Oversized and big, and yeah, I'm getting it cheap, but what are you going to do with it?
People only have so much money, and you can say, yeah, you want to keep it for another year and I'll save up and I'll come and buy some more stuff from you, or you get rid of it all now and this is how much money I got. You can't do anything.
Better than
you can't do
going in
anything.
the dumpster.
Huh?
Last thing you want to see is all that stuff
going in the dumpster. You don't want to see it go in the dump.
Well, John, that's where, I mean, there's still 10 full-size hunters over there. And that's where they're going,
If it wasn't so far to drive, I'd drive out there myself.
They're just not anything I'm interested in, and I don't want to see them throw them in the trash, but that's where they're going to end up going. I'm like,
what's he got? What's he got, Mike?
I can't buy them from you. I can't. They're all, there's SVs, there's Shrikes, there's Legacies, all in various states of repair. and a lot of stuff under construction. But I can't buy all this stuff. I can't take all this stuff from them.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you just do the best you can. And you know, nothing
I
wrong with getting a good deal. I mean, I think nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, they have a good home.
Yeah.
I'm on my second trip, and I've really bought everything that I really want that I can use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate to see all this other stuff just go to the dump. But
Yeah,
that's
I
where
bet.
it's gonna go. You know, he asked me. He said, "I can't ship these planes. How do I get rid of them?" And I said, "You know, put them on Facebook Marketplace. You know, for local pickup. Do a local pickup thing on Facebook Marketplace, because you can't put them in a box and ship them on eBay. Nobody's going to buy them. Nobody's going to buy these things. But
it'd be too expensive.
If we could get these 10 airplanes to a contest, if I could bring them all to the Nats,
yeah,
guys might want them, you know, and like take one or two home or whatever. But I can't bring 10 airplanes to the Nats along with me and Sam going to the Nats to fly stunt and combat for a week. I don't have room for that. That's the thing. These things become albatrosses around your neck, man. Yeah. How do you get rid of them? How do you get them into the hands of the people that might want to have them? Right. But it'd be a shame. I mean, when push comes to shove, when he finally calls me and says, I got to clean out the storage unit, of course I'm going to go get them all, and I'll stick them in my attic or something. But I can't just like put them in a trailer and bring them somewhere to give them away to people, you know. Well, but that's ultimately.
Hey, Mike, what you could tell him is that if he just gave them to you and you put them in your attic, that if you took them someplace, you'll split whatever they sell for it. If you just brought one, you know, to every contest or something like that, that'd be a fair deal for him too.
Yeah, that's true, Steve. But you know,
a lot of extra trouble for Mike.
If you have the space to store them, that's what I'm saying. You know.
Hey, Mike.
Right.
Mike, I got a question for you.
Go ahead, John.
Mike, if you find something you think I'd like, pick it up and I'll get it when I come out there for the Nats. All right. Let me know what it costs, and I'll give you a yay or nay. And if you'll hold on to it for me, I'll pick it up, right, bring it home.
Can you get some pictures? That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Take some pictures of what he's got, Mike, and then we can, everybody can see what he's got and what they like to have, and you know.
Well, if you guys buy a whole bunch of stuff, I can run to Mike's house and bring it here and store it for you.
Yeah,
we pay for it now and get it later.
Yeah, I'll tell you, nothing that's left in the big stunt planes is airworthy. They all need repair. They all need repair and work. But they were Marshall's airplanes, and there is two PA-51 side exhaust motors in two of those airplanes, and I've told Tony, you know, these are expensive motors. You need to sell these. You know, I'm not interested in them. I don't want them. I'm not trying to get a deal on the PAs that he has, because he hooked me up on the Cyclones that I bought from him and some of the other stuff. You know, if I was shady, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, those are old Super Tiger 51s, man. They're worth $50 a piece. But he's got a couple of $300 motors there that have tongue mufflers, volley, 3-bladed props, and Randy spinners on them. I'm like, you got $600 in these two motors right here. So expect to see two PA side exhaust 51s listed by the guy. Well, Phil, you know that you bought the Aero Tiger from.
Yeah.
So,
You want to hear a horror story about people shipping airplanes off of eBay? Guy won the bid on a. I forget what it was. Let's just say it was a Super Ringmaster or something like that. And when the guy shipped it, he took a saw, cut it in half right down the middle, packed it in a smaller box, and shipped it out.
Hey,
that actually happened.
Wow, that's pretty sad.
What I want to know is how these damn places ship stuff so cheap. Because I bought a headlight for my car and they sent me the wrong one. And I called them up and said, and they said, all right, you can return it. Send it back. But I had to pay the shipping. It was like $5 cheaper for me to send it to them to get my money back. I'm like, I ain't going to go through the whole damn process.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hold on to it. Someday somebody's going to need a headlight for a Honda, I guess. But it's like, how can they send it to me for $7 shipping, and for me to send it back, it's $35?
Volume.
Because they ship it bulk.
When I bought a transmission for my van, and it was free shipping or shipping included. And when I got it, they had pushed the wrong button. So the guy said, you need to sign here and it'll be $350. I said, no, it won't. He said, wait a minute. I said, it's supposed to be free shipping. He said, well, not by the paper here. So I said, okay, well, somebody's messed up somewhere because it was free shipping. So I ended up having to I called the lady. I called the place that I bought it from. It was out of Florida. And sent it yellow freight. So the truck driver had to do some other deliveries. He says, I'll stop back by.
Yellow freight.
Well, I stopped back by, or he says, I'll stop back by this afternoon. I said, okay. So I got on the phone, called that place, and she said, hold on, let me call the shipping. So we got on a 3-way call, and the freight company was talking to the other lady, and she said, okay. The freight lady said, so y'all are supposed to pay for it, not the customer. She said, correct. She said the lady that took the order pushed the wrong button on the computer. Instead of us pay, she pushed customer pay. She said, oh, okay. Well, so we're going to change the shipping from $350 to $90. They said, yeah. I'm like, hold on a second.
Free shipping.
I was going to charge me $350, but they ship so much that they give them a volume discount. So yeah, it's ridiculous what they charge. But yeah, I mean, like I ain't paying $350 for a $700 transmission. But yeah, that was funny. I was like, oh, wait. Well, I didn't say nothing, but in my mind, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Y'all are screwing me.
Yeah.
And they didn't even give you a kiss afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't expect you bottom.
Or take you out to dinner.
But you see that on eBay a lot, too. You'll see somebody will have, say, an LA 46, and they'll have it for a certain price and shipping $5. And you go down here and somebody else will have one for a little lower price, but $15 shipping. I'm like, what are y'all shipping it in a bigger box or something? I mean, if one person can ship it for $5, somebody's making money off the other one.
Somebody's wanting to get paid to take it to the post office.
Well,
yeah. That's what
I was watching on TV and they said with eBay, when you get to be a certain size selling on eBay and all this kind of stuff, that you get the eBay price for shipping. And sometimes it's even free through eBay. You know, eBay actually pays for it for these people that sell so much stuff through there because I guess they must get a percentage of.
Well, I've also seen, I ordered some go-kart parts from my son, and I was looking for go-kart parts on eBay, and it come up. I looked at who was selling it, and I'm like, well, I've bought from them before, so I went to their webpage, and on eBay it was like $18 free shipping. So I went to their webpage, and the part only cost $10 with $5 shipping. I'm like, okay, so that's $15 if I bought it from them, from their company. But if I go through eBay, I'm spending $3 more, even though it says free shipping on it. You know, I'm like, you guys ain't free shipping. I'm still paying for it.
Well, there's free, and then there's free.
Yeah,
I buy a lot of stuff through Amazon, for my ham radio equipment, stuff like that. And so one smart thing I did is they have I think it's premium is what they call it. And it up front, the first time cost me a little bit extra money, but since then, everything I buy is free shipping.
It's Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. My wife's in there.
The only thing is that I just bought servos for an airplane, and I found them on Amazon Prime, and it was the same thing. They were $23 a piece with free shipping. If I went to Horizon, they were $15, and it was actually $2 cheaper getting them from Horizon than it was from Amazon.
Wow.
That I had to pay for shipping.
You gotta check around. I know. I did that when I bought the stuff that I bought. I checked a couple of 2 or 3 different sources, and Amazon still beat them. So
yeah, some stuff that I do it because it's convenient, and a lot of times it's here the next day. Whereas you buy them, someplace else, you save $2, and they don't show up for a week.
Wait a week.
Right.
Have y'all got control lines lately?
I got my Nobler canopy yesterday from Amazon. That was the only one left in the United States.
Oh, good for you.
I got it for $5.
Yeah, I bought 3 from Brodak.
Luckily, it's bigger than what the actual cutout is supposed to be, because it was sent in an envelope and was crushed.
Oh,
so it was the back side that's you cut out to go around the fuselage. It was crimped shut and split up the one of the.
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry.
But luckily, where you cut it out to mount it on the plane's that part's not damaged. So.
I started saying, if you need one, I have one. I have a canopy. I don't have a cowl, but I have a canopy.
I'm actually going to try to do that lost phone on the cowl.
That sounds like a plan. I'm gonna make one out of wood, because I have the one fixed. I'm going to fly it tomorrow. I fixed the original. I had a friend of mine fix the original, and I tried to lighten it up. But the other one, I had one that I was flying in the contest. Mike was there, and had a prop strike on takeoff, and didn't think how. In fact, Tran was there. Didn't realize how bad it was. And when I pulled up into a wing over, I said, "Uh-oh, this don't look good." And the lines just kept getting more bowed and more bowed. The other side, I'm trying to walk back and pull it back, and my partner says, "Well, you're trying to pull it this way." I said, "Tommy, that's because I can't do my hand this way and get it behind me that far." But I couldn't get all the slack out of those lines. It was coming in on me the whole way across. When that stupid thing hit, it destroyed it back to the trailing edge. We got it. Wow. We got everything up, took it home, and that LA-40. When I got all the pieces out from around it, the motor spins over and works fine. Now, it destroyed the spinner, but the motor still runs.
Oh, good. Yeah,
that's a tough motor.
Invaluable part.
Something for you to think about, Eddie. I've done this a couple of times. Take some hard balsa or some basswood or whatever, and carve yourself and finish a cowl out of the wood. Carve it up, sand it up, make sure it's good and smooth, and then get yourself a soda pop bottle and cut the end off, shove it in there, and get your heat gun out and shrink it to make that cowl out of the plastic from that soda bottle. It'll be light, it'll be stiff, it won't. It's amazing how fast it shrinks down. Do it that way, you'll be much happier in the end. That's how on that trip, I've got that. I can't get those 1 liter soda bottles anymore. I don't think they make them anymore. And so that's what I used for that round cowl on the front, was the bottom of a 1 liter soda bottle. So I'm going to have to do that when I build. That plane will be 30 years old this year, or for the next year, and so I'm going to build one for nostalgia.
Yeah, I'd try that. Okay, speaking. Okay, y'all have done this before. Okay, making a canopy. What size? What thickness plastic do you use to do your like vacuum molding?
Soda bottle.
I don't do vacuum molding. I use a soda bottle.
Right. I mean, to make a canopy or something.
Soda bottle.
Oh, canopy, 40,000.
40.
We've started. There's no 40. You can buy the 40 thousandths plastic.
Yeah.
And you'll get a sheet about so big, and you can cut it in 4 pieces, and you make a frame to go around it.
Yeah.
You put it in your oven, and you heat it to turn your oven to 450, and put it in there on something where you can watch it. When the plastic starts to sag, take it out and put it over your mold on a vacuum table. Turn the vacuum on right quick and let it suck it down. Give it about 30 seconds or even 20 seconds under vacuum. And I take a cold rag and throw on it, but you don't have to. And you've got a canopy. Or you can take the mold and shove it up in a soda bottle, put something in there under it to wedge it in where the mold is in there tight, up against the sides. Then take your hairdryer, or I use a heat gun, and heat that thing, and it'll suck down over it, and you've got a mold. You've got your part, and you take it out, and you didn't have to spend $6 for the piece of plastic and $4 shipping. You got Pepsi out of it.
And if you want it green, you can use a green bottle. If you want it yellow, you can use a yellow bottle.
Yeah,
they don't make blue.
I haven't been able to find anything but green around here in about 6 months. I've been wanting to find a red one. I was really bummed out. I thought that whatever Pepsi made the Mountain Dew, the red drink, whatever it is,
Code Red.
Code Red. I thought it was in a red bottle. It's not. It's in a clear one.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you put red dye on it and dye it, it will take the dye just beautifully. But 3 months in the summer, out in the sun, and you've got a clear canopy again.
Well, the thing I would do,
you can use that Lexan RC car paint. They paint the inside of the cars with.
You can do that. You can do that if you go ahead.
Just take clear dope, add a little red color to it. Use your little, and spray the inside lightly. You get it as dark or as light as you want, and then glue it on. It'll stay that way forever.
I was just gonna make mine like a smoke tint to it, to where you can't see in it.
Well, that's the same thing.
So you use just clear and a little bit of black.
Yeah. Just spray it in the
Use your airbrush.
Another thing, if you get your canopy scratched, if you get a little scratch on the canopy and you think you got to throw it away, don't throw it away. Squirt it with clear.
Yep.
All the scratches disappear.
All right. You guys have Mike Wonky wants to say something. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey Phil, who's the guy Sawyer? Somebody, was it Bill Sawyer?
Bill Sawyer. Yeah, he passed away.
What else did he make besides canopies?
He made canopies. He sold those leather fillets. He sold kits, primarily the Playboy.
The Playboy.
He had about 4 kits. The Playboy was the one that he really did a lot. I have one of those, a kit.
What was Lickletter's play? What was Lickletter's play? Ballerina?
Ballerina.
Yeah, Ballerina.
Okay, so Phil, we came across a couple of boxes today in the Marshall's storage unit. There was 5 or 6 clear canopies, all stacked up in a little box from Bill Sawyer.
About that big. They're chipmunks.
Bill Sawyer? Were they chipmunks?
They're chipmunks.
They're chipmunk canopies. And then there was 2 different boxes with 5 packages each of leather fillets in them.
Yeah.
That said Bill Sawyer something models. What was his what?
Getting old as hell.
Sun
Dancer or something like that. I think it was Sun Dancer.
Pole Dancer?
No,
that's a Pole Dancer, but I think it was Sun Dancer.
No. It wasn't pole dancer. That was what's his name? Eric, just before he died. Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
He had a he had a
model.
design called the pole dancer.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
Bill
my wife was a
Hey,
pole
Mike, I
dancer.
want at
I
least
think
one of them canopies,
done-
if not two.
Well, yeah, I'll have to get a hold of Tony and see what
I'd
he's
like
doing,
to,
because I told him, I said, look, these were smalls, right? These were smalls in a box, and I said, put them on eBay and say exactly, Bill Sawyer Sundancer model canopy, or Bill Sawyer leather fillets, because I remember guys were using that stuff. That's just another thing that came to mind. That
I'd love to have some of those leather fillets. They work
Mark,
well.
They do work well.
Yeah, he's got like 10 packs of them, 10 packs, and I
Does
said
he?
put them on eBay, just
Yeah.
put them on there.
Yeah, I'd like to have some of those.
He had a quart bag of Randy's zinc stearate Aero-1 filler,
Yeah.
the ZS powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in clear dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff was neat. But
Mike, if you can get at least one of them chipmunk canopies, I'll take it. If he's gonna put it on eBay, let me know, and I'll look for it.
Okay. Are we sure they're chipmunk canopies? Are those the only ones the guy made, or did he make other
no,
ones?
he made no. I sent Bill plugs, and he would pull me canopies. I sent him a P51, and mine was just slick. And he had put the bars on it and all the stuff. He sent me back one that looked real. I mean, what he sent me back looked like a real P51 canopy. He was a master with that stuff. But he told me that there you go, that's it. That's a chipmunk canopy.
But I need one more of these.
Okay.
Well, I may have one downstairs. I'll look and see.
He also did the
I don't know
ballerina
if it
canopy.
was or what.
It had all the framework.
Do what, Mike? I didn't hear that part.
I don't know if they were chipmunk canopies or not. I mean, there was like 4 or 5 of them, all in a big box with tissue paper between each one. But Marshall didn't have. He had a chipmunk kit in his stash, but not a chipmunk airplane. But he had a lot of Cavaliers, and I don't know what the canopies were for.
Well,
Honestly,
it could have
I
been
don't know.
anything. Anything somebody asked for, he would pull them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think he had some kits over there he would like to let go?
Well, after, so the only control line kit that he had that I bought out of everything he had, he had a guile super stunner, the guile, one of Phil Cartier's poorhouse kit. That's the big one too. That thing is that's a monster. Look at that.
Yeah.
730 square inches, right?
That's the size of a Strega.
Was $75?
Well, I'm putting a pulse jet on that. That's going to be the basis for my pulse jet stunner.
Okay.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
That's going to be.
You and Danny Banjock are going to have a blast.
That's going to be the one that the pulse jet. Well, because I want a big, giant, fat wing and a slow, dragging airplane. So that's.
Looked like it didn't have flaps either. No, I don't need flaps for a pulse jet. But the only other 2 kits, well, he had 3 more control line kits. He had a Brodak Vector 40, and I told him, just put it on. It's full body Vector 40, and then he had a
a Sig Super Chipmunk. I told him, I'll get 75 or 100 for the Chipmunk and probably 120 or so for the Vector 40. And then he had one more scale biplane. It was a Walter Umland laser cut scale kit for a biplane. And I actually looked on Walter's site for it today, and I couldn't find it. I could not find it listed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a scale control line biplane, laser cut Walter Umland, all AAA select balsa. And I told him, I said that that's probably $150 kit, easy, maybe 200 these days. Who knows?
Yeah, that's about right, Mike.
That's what I think. Even if Walt sold it for 150 bucks, it had to be my single wing Sakatumi was $160. This is a laser cut biplane. It's got to be worth 200 today. It's all AAA balsa, and it's a scale kit. It's made for control line scale, but I couldn't find it on Walt's site.
It may have been something that Walt cut special for him. Walt used to do that.
No, it
once
had
in
a
while.
label. It
did?
had Bill. It had a label on the box and a picture of the airplane. It did.
Wow.
It had it's one of Walt's kits. It had a label, had a picture of the airplane, control line scale biplane.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a Colossus kit, but I hadn't had a sniff at one yet.
Yeah, that will go for a lot of money. That scale kit.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. And like I said, I looked on Walt's site and I couldn't find it listed. It was not listed in anything that. Yeah, I need to call him. I told Tony. I said don't let don't let that one go. When you put it on eBay, I'll tell you a starting bid. And I was like, first of all, just because it's one of Walt's kits, that makes it valuable. The second thing that makes it valuable is that's all AAA contest balsa in there. I'm like, and his kits, any of his kits don't sell for under $150 when you buy them new.
Yeah, and if they're one that's out of production, it'll double in price easy.
Right.
If he's not making them, we're never going to make him again. Then that'll be an expensive kit.
Yes, sir.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
Give Gordon Delaney a call on that airplane.
Okay.
He's got a kit. I don't know if he'll ever build it.
I'll see if I can find his number. I'll look for his number tomorrow. If I can find it, I'll give him a call.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Would you consider redoing this kit?
Which one?
A Forerunner.
Forerunner.
In a built-up wing?
Well, I could do it. I don't know, the guy that was kidding that, if it's the same guy that was kidding Alan Brickhouse's airplane, his Buccaneer.
Actually, hold on a second. It wasn't Alan Brickhouse. Where's my plan? Here it is.
Well, I know Alan Brickhouse didn't design it. I know that. It was designed by a fellow in Texas. But what point I was trying to make is I think he had it kitted by Custom Kits or something like that. And they wouldn't give Alan Brickhouse, when they quit making control on airplanes, they wouldn't give Alan Brickhouse the permission to have Brodak kit the Buccaneer. That's why the Legacy came about. Was the Legacy
let me see if I can bring this up closer.
Custom models, yeah.
Tom
Farmer. Engineered by Bill Hopper.
Yeah, Tom Farmer I know that wasn't Brickhouse design, but the kit maker kitted that airplane and Alan Brickhouse's Buccaneer. And when they quit, they quit doing control line and went strictly to RC. And yet they wouldn't release any of their control line to anybody else to kit. And to this day, nobody has the right to kit them.
No, I wouldn't say the right to kit them, but the plans that I have is for a foam wing. I have the plans here, and it may be to convert that to a built-up rather than a foam wing.
Well, that'd be easy enough to do. I just need the airfoil it uses, and I'd need the cord at the base and at the tip, and I need the length. And if it's a straight trailing edge or a swept forward trailing edge, and I need to know how much. I need to know the cord at the tip and the cord at the root, so I know what the sweep is.
I can do that for you because I have one of the kits here. I have the plans here, and I have the assembly instructions. So if we want to resurrect this for on a built-up wing, I can probably get you all the profiles that you need. And I'm just wondering if that is something that we can do or we can't do that, because, like I said, this kit was done as a foam wing, customized. Did as a foam wing, and perhaps we can resurrect it as a built-up.
Well, the thing is it's not enough change. You'd have to make a lot more changes than that because it's under copyright law. And if they won't release it, then I could do it. I could do a wing for you to build for yourself. I could make that change, converting it to a built-up wing. But to make the conversion that with the idea of making it available to other people, you can't do it. It would be in trouble with copyright laws.
Okay, because I was gonna take the plans, have them copied, and the assembly instructions. Although the assembly instructions wouldn't be relevant for a built-up wing, they would only be relevant for foam wing construction. So, oh well.
Yeah.
Another good design falls by the wayside.
No, you can still sell the plans, and the guys can build as many of them for themselves as they want. You just can't kit it for a profit.
Right.
The wording is very specific.
On it. I just wanted to make this that it was an excellent design, and it was pretty much very well used in its heyday back in the 80s or the early 90s. And it's it's a profile design that's kind of so at this point fell by the wayside.
Well, let me check on something. Available. If we just make the plans available, we could, and because it wasn't part of the original kit, we could probably sell a rib kit for people that bought a set of plans from you, because the plans, by converting it to a built-up wing.
I mean, the plans right now, I guess they're an E size as far as CAD is concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take it over to a Kinko's and have the plans, at least the plan for the foam wing version and the fuselage converted. Then I can turn around and I can get the kit out and get the profile for the root and the tip.
Well, that's the problem.
It would be another thing that people could build out there, whether they decided or not. Now we don't necessarily have to sell a rib kit or anything like that.
Okay, well, Peter, the things copyright laws are pretty. You're pretty well locked into things if they choose to enforce it, and more and more people are enforcing it today than they used to. We could.
If you made it for Peter and he built it and flew it for himself, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Bottom line is, does anybody have any contact information to Tom Framer, or is he gone already?
Tom Framer, I don't know.
I haven't heard that name in several years.
Tom doesn't control that. Custom models control that.
Ah,
that's who has rights to kit it.
Are they still in business?
No.
I think they're still doing RC planes. They're not doing control line. Anyway, the thing is, plans could be made for a built-up version. I would highly suggest taking and mounting the engine on the outboard side rather than the inboard side.
Yes.
But you know, plans could be done for that, and those plans could be made available. Just you couldn't offer a kit. You'd be treading right on the precipice of the copyright laws.
No, we don't have to release it as a kit, as long as if you're amenable to, like, you know, spending some CAD time and, you know, just
plans, or even you can do a plan, or you can do it as a plan with rib templates, or even you could even do a short kit, but you can't do a kit.
No, nobody's saying to do a kit. It's just that, you know, right now there's nothing. There's basically nothing out there to resurrect this to the control line community, whether it's, you know, foam or any relevance.
Yeah, it was a neat plane. A lot of people learned to stunt on that thing.
Hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Phil Bailey.
Yeah.
Marshall's son has about 70 sets of rolled plans that he's probably going to throw in the dumpster.
Oh.
Whoa.
Tell him to grab them. Grab them, and we'll, if need be, I'll come get them. Let me know.
Hey, guys, I have a question for you.
I told him, I said, you know, well, plans, you know, you go on AutoZone, you buy them for $10 or whatever, and you print them. But he has 2-3 big boxes of rolled plans. I don't even know what's in there, you know. But he's like, are they worth selling on eBay? I'm like, no, because what it costs you to ship them in a rolled tube isn't worth the price you're going to get. Nobody pays for plans, man, right?
No, because AutoZone's got them for free.
You're right. AutoZone has them for free. You put them on a thumb drive, you take them to Kinko's, and they print them out for nothing. There was
not there anymore.
Alan Perrette, who's a Louisiana guy who passed away a couple of years ago. There was probably 100 plans at the Baton Rouge contest. They couldn't give them away, you know. Just a huge box of plans. What do you do with them? What do you do with them?
Well, I can tell you, Mike.
He collects plans.
Mike, I've got about 200 sets of plans here, going back to the 40s, and I keep them so that if I get a hot flash that I want to CAD up a design, I've got the original plan there, and I'll take it down to my engineering plate and have them scan it in, and I'll import that into my CAD program, do a good solid tracing of it, and, you know, make what modern internal corrections need to be made, and then I've got it on CAD. Okay, one of the things that I do with CAD is that all my plans have a pattern sheet, so that I found the disc, by the way, that shows how to use. I did it when I had my website up. Shows how to use the pattern sheet to cut your parts. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out a way to get that either on my CAD Classics site on the Stunt Hangar, or be able to bring it on here as kind of a show and tell thing. But anyway, so
right.
yeah, people.
John, I'm saying, here's 75 sets of rolled plans.
Yep.
I mean, they're printed.
It's too bad I wasn't there, because I'd have grabbed it.
Yeah, me too.
Well, no, I can probably still get them. They're there. They're not going anywhere yet. But I mean, it takes up a lot of space. It's a huge box. 75 sets of rolled plans.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Is a huge box of paper. It's a lot. It's a bunch. And what do I do with them? Drag them around with me to the next 10 contests I go to pass them out to people? Put them in a mailer and ship them at the cost of $6-8 to mail them, when you can, get it on a flash drive, turn it out for $10 at home. It just it seems like such a waste.
Mike, if you want, or if you can get them, hang on them. That's another thing I pick up when I come out there for the Nats.
You guys, let me interrupt here. We're going to close out the stream. I don't know if it's my computer, but I think my connection's kind of going away. So let me close the stream. I want to thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you guys attending much. And we had a new guest, Mark Lumen. He came in. He's from South Africa, or he's actually working there, or Africa. And then when Roger communicated to me that he couldn't get his mic and camera to work. So hopefully he'll straighten that out and be here next Monday. And yeah, we had some good conversations. We talked about the Magician airplane, one of my favorite childhood planes, and there was a conversation about 3D printing, which was good. And then Mike Lonke's tour of unbelievable wood. That was unbelievable. And I'm happy for you, Mike. And then we talked about making cows out of bottles. And that's some all good information. So everybody come on back Monday and tell me what you guys did. You went flying or what you did in your shop, and share it with us. And one last thing. I didn't get a chance to even mention this because I got interrupted in the very beginning. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And
they're gone.
And we haven't seen any super chats in a long time, so don't forget that's another way you can support the channel if you want to do a monthly membership. And with that being said, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing everybody back here. We're going to continue to talk on our own, but we're going to end the stream. See you guys next time.